Hello everyone. I hope I am visible and audible. Can someone confirm me, please?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, okay. So a very wonderful good afternoon to everyone. My name is Utkarsh Verma, and in today's session, of course, we'll be talking about the tips and strategy of how to start from scratch to the end of your final preparation goal. And this session will be divided into two parts basically. The first half will be in which I'll be sharing some insights of what psychology preparation looks like and what are some important patterns of the examinations, what are those important topics you have to focus, and the of course other part will be of course yours, in which you'll be asking whatever you feel like related to psychology exams, related to career in psychology, etc. So are we good to go? Shall we start?
Yes, Petra.
All right, so let me share my screen. All right, I hope it's visible to you. PPT is visible.
Yes.
All right. So, talking about the first thing is, in India, you will get two types of PG courses. The one is, of course, MA, and the other one is MSc. So, the first thing or the stereotype is that ki MSc is better than MA. All right. So, this is a stereotype in society. So, I just want to clear this out. The syllabus of MA and MSc is similar. Okay, it depends in the university culture. So basically in North India, I mean, I'm talking about the universities like DU, Jamia, BHU, Punjab, Haryana. These universities give your PG degree on the basis of what you had in your UG. Okay, so if I've done my UG in BA, so I'll get MA degree. All right, and if I've done my psychology degree, UG degree in BSc, so I'll get MSc. This thing is different in South India. Will go to the Hyderabad University, Pondicherry University, Central Karnataka University. There, if they have MSc Psychology, they will give MSc degree to every student. Okay, so there is no such thing ki MA is better or MSc is better. Both degrees are same. Both syllabus are like literally same. Okay, professors will be same. Your classes will be same. So there is no need to worry if you are taking admission in North Indian college. So you'll get your degree according to your UG one, and vice versa. And if you are taking admission into any South Indian university, so you'll get the degree what they have in their curriculum. Okay. So this first thing, I hope it's clear to all. There is no difference between MA and MSc. Is everyone clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we can move on to our PPT. So basically, of course, you should know who am I. So my name is Utkarsh Verma, and my current ongoing educational degree is I'm pursuing my master's in psychology, basically MA in psychology from Banaras Hindu University. Currently, I'm in semester one. I've given examinations in 2021. So, and these are all my achievements. You can see in the screen. I've secured like pretty good ranks in some prestigious universities like Jamia, Pondicherry University, BHU, TU, and of course Pondicherry University. So these all are my achievements. So now this is the main part: where to start and when to start, and from which books one should opt. If one should go for Cicerelli, one should go for Morgan and King's. What are stats books? Is stats really important? These are all the questions, and these were all in my head also. Okay, so don't feel like that you are unique and you are only suffering from this dilemma. All right, so even I was in this situation also. So I'll be continuing by books. Okay, so basically, we should know the exam pattern. Okay, there is one famous line in Quota Factory web series that before cracking or before giving an exam, you should know what exam asks for. Okay, what's the syllabus for the exam? So the pattern, first we'll talk about the pattern, then we'll come to syllabus. So basically, the pattern of exam is almost similar to every university. There will be 120 questions or 100 questions depending upon the university, and of course for the each correct answer you will given 4 marks or 2 marks depending upon the university. And many universities, like majority of universities, have this criteria of minus marking, where 1 marks will be deducted from your marks if you get one answer wrong. All right, and there are many universities like Allahabad University, it don't have any kind of minus marking. All right, so you can attempt as many as questions you want. So basically, this is a simple layman pattern. But talking about CU set examinations, which is Central University Combined Entrance Test, okay, there is a lot of confusion whether universities will be like whether DU, Jamia, or BHU will come under CU set. Okay, so for UG purpose, DU and BHU have announced that they'll conduct their examinations through CU set pattern, including Allahabad University. I'm talking about UG examinations. But for PG examinations, DU has announced that for this year it will go by their duet examinations. It means the pattern and the criteria and the syllabus, like question pattern, will be same. Okay. For BHU, there is no such announcement as such till now. So we'll wait for the their official announcement. And for Allahabad also, there is no such announcement, I guess, for the PG pattern. So basically, our motto is for PG exam. So like we have to wait. Okay, many people will get scared of GS part, GK part. Okay, even if you are going for the Jamia exam, you will be like worrying for your 25 questions. Basically, the suicide examination pattern is 75 questions will be asked from a subject, of course, from psychology, and the rest 25 questions will be from GS, current affairs, Hindi, English, reasoning, number letter completion, etc. Okay, so this is one big question mark. How to prepare those 25 questions? All right, like I have these Israeli books, I have these much psychology books. I can go for 75 questions, but how do we prepare for those 25 questions? Okay, my personal suggestion is don't focus very much on those 25 questions. All right, the reason is like see this simple thing: 75% is more and 25% is less. All right, so if you're able to crack examination, or if you want to crack examination, it will be done by those 75 questions. Okay, but the thing is the rankings will be decided, the top 10 rankers, the top 10 15 rankers will be decided on the basis of those 25 questions. And here's the thing: out of those 25 questions, if you are at zero level, okay, I'm repeating, if you are at zero level, then also you can 100% like attempt 15 to 18 questions correctly. Okay, so it means out of 25 you'll get at least 15 questions right, even if you are at zero. Okay, so these questions are really very easy. So no need to focus a lot of time on those 25 questions. Okay, that's my personal suggestion. And I did same for the Jamia also. I secured AI 2 rank. Okay, so I literally never focus on those 25 questions. And there was a plus point in this year's examination that there was no actually current affair. Okay, the questions they've asked were from static GK, like the geography part, history part, and a little bit of constitution part. Okay, basically mainly they were from geography. So this was the bonus point which we got. But I don't think so this year. I mean, due to COVID conditions, there was not a lot of current affairs at that time. So I guess this was the reason why they didn't put any current affairs questions in Jamia examination. But this year, everything is fine now. So I'm presuming that there will be some current affairs question. So what I did is basically I downloaded an app called Current Affairs from Play Store. I guess it's I just 12 MB or 14 MB, the size of the app. So my routine was before going to bed at night, I just used to open that app and just quickly have a bird's eye on those questions, and it also has some quizzes. Okay, so by this thing I practice for my GS part. All right,
Uh,
yeah.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Could you just repeat the name of the app?
GS current affairs, like there is variety of apps on Play Stores available. All right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So I only put effort, like I only put this much effort on GS part. So you can imagine how easy it is to score in GS part. Okay. Other thing is, Allahabad University's GS section is very hard. Alright. And I mean this, it's very hard. And it will be easy for those students who are preparing for one day examinations. And I'm sure there are not like, I mean, majority of your students are not preparing for one day examinations, which you mean like different SSC examinations or SSB, whatever they are. Okay. So my personal suggestion is in Allahabad University, there is a pattern like excluding the CU set part, there was a pattern that there will be 120 questions in which 100 questions will be from your subject and they'll carry 3 marks. All right. And 50 questions will be from your like GS part and they'll basically 2 marks, and 50 questions will be from your GS part and they'll carry 1 marks. So basically, and there will be no minus marking. All right. So technically, out of 300, your 200 part is from psychology and just 100 part is from GS. So I'll not suggest you should focus more on GS part for Allahabad University examination because it's really hard. But as I said, Allahabad Universities has till now it hasn't announced anything about their PG examinations. So I'm presuming that they'll be continuing like their own examination pattern this year also. But I don't think so. Let's wait for the announcement. So my motto is just to make you realize that GS part is not really hard. I mean, it's hard, but not really worth putting effort. All right. Try to focus more on your psychology part. So this was the differentiation between psychology subject questions and non-psychology subject questions. Also, there will be some students who are not from psychology background. So there are very less universities who provide psychology PG if you have not done your UG from psychology. I mean, they consider the science background and some specific background fields, but their pattern, like talking about BHU specifically, that it has a unique pattern. So it doesn't give you the psychology paper, okay? It gives you the complete 120 questions, which will be from GS part. So I'll not go into that part because this webinar is focused on the psychology part. So basically, if you are a psychology student or if you are a non-psychology student like DU, you can apply even if you are non-psychology students. So you'll get the psychology part. Okay. So I'll suggest students who are not from psychology background or who have not done their UG in psychology, they should also focus more on psychology part rather than like biting their nails towards the non-psychology part or those 25 GS questions. Okay. So this was basically the exam pattern. All right. इतना clear है सबको?
Yes.
All right. Now talking about the major areas from which the questions are asked. Okay, this thing is very important because also one thing, this analyzation is up to 2020. All right, because 2021 was a bummer for us also. We went to the examination all expecting that yeah, this part will come in majority and this part will come in minority. Like top questions from this question topic will be like in like vast majority, but nothing happened. Okay, we were just like shocked by seeing paper, especially the BHU one, because like last year in 2021 they completely copied the pattern of UGC net. All right. So this will be my one more suggestion, that go for after your preparation for your UG syllabus and previous year, try to solve UGC previous year net questions. All right, this is very much important. Of course, you'll be not solving all the questions, because some of the questions will belong from the PG syllabus, but you'll get the idea what is from UG and what is from PG. So try to solve or try to have a look what type of questions asked in like UG Senate examinations from your UG area. Okay. So talking about the majority of questions or majority of areas or topics which have been asked in the previous years, the greatest part is for developmental psychology. Okay. Then second one part is your research methodology and statistics. Okay. I know many students fear research and methodology and stats, of course, because they have numbers. But trust me, if you all like try to understand research, there is like this is the easiest thing in psychology. Okay. In other domains, you have to remember psychologist name, remember their theories name. But in research methodology, there is no such thing. If you are clear with your concepts, then boom, you're good to go. All right. Then third most important part is clinical psychology, abnormal psychology, and general psychology. By general psychology, I mean your cognition part, introduction parts, psychopathology part, history of psychology part. These all come under general psychology. And other will be comprised of social psychology and your HRM and OB. Okay, so I'll come towards the university wise important topics later on. So this is basically a short term pie chart from which subject or which like topic you should focus more. So, of course, there are some important topics which have been asked frequently in the examinations. Okay, from developmental psychology, Piaget's theory, of course. This is the most asked question. Piaget's theory, okay, of cognitive development. Psychosexual stages of Freud. This is also a very important topic. Psychosocial stages, Eric Erikson. Okay, Marcia's identity theory. All right, Kohlberg's morality principle. This is a very important topic. All right, just go through it very thoroughly. Then parenting styles, attachment styles, etc. So these are all the major topics which have been asked through developmental psychology. Coming back to the research part. All right. So reliability, validity norms. Of course, these trio will come always together in any psychology exam. All right. So just make sure you develop a perfect grip on these three topics: reliability, validity, or norms. Then research design, your pre-test design, post design, AB designs, ABA designs. There are various designs. All right. Then hypothesis testing, this is also a very confusing part, but at the same time most important part. Your alpha level, significance level, null hypothesis testing, one tail test, two tail test. All right, one directional hypothesis, bidirectional hypothesis. Then types of tests, as I mentioned. Then measures of central tendency, your mean, median, mode, quartile, percentile. All these things will come under your measure of central tendencies. Then standard deviation, of course, NPC, normal probability curve. Like there are so many questions which have been asked from NPC related to kurtosis, skewness, etc. Okay, so just go through these wide topics. I'm not saying that the questions will be asked from these topics only. The thing is, there are high chances that the question you'll be facing in your examinations will lie under these subtopics. All right. Then the other parts, as I told you, will cover the organizational psychology, which is your OB part, and the HRM part, and some mixed topics related to social psychology, group behavior, and of course your aggression, attribution, whatever those are. Okay. So these others will comprise of these topics. Then coming for the book section, okay, there's so much confusion regarding books, which book to refer, which book to not, which is the best book psychologist. Sometimes students ask me, sir, what book you referred? What is the best book in psychology? So I just tell them, oh, there are only two books which I believe, like, yeah, this is the best book. First one is the complete psychology, which is Cicerelli. All right, Introduction to Cicerelli Psychology. This book completes, yeah, that this book covers each and everything except research methodology part. Okay, you'll get cognition, you'll get developmental psychology in it, you'll get HRM, OB, clinical, etc. Except research methodology. Okay, so research methodology is most important. Then we'll go to the next book, which is Research Methodology by A.K. Singh. All right, so these two books, the first two books on your screen, these are the most important books. All right. So I'll just request just have a look on these book thoroughly, because I guess still you have 1.5 months, at least 1.5 months. All right, so you'll have, yeah, like you have enough time, more than enough time to cover these two books. And trust me, I've read only these two books completely. All right, I've like I'll not say I haven't touched any other book, but my main focus was on only these two books: RM, AK Singh, Complete Psychology, Cicely. So these two books are really the god of psychology. All right. Then, if you want to go deeper, or if you want a change for your like study pattern, you can refer Social Psychologies, Brax-Combe, or like Grisha Mishra sir's yeah, like Barron's Journal Psychology. Then Carson Butcher, Psychopathology, Morgan Sinking, Introduction to Psychology. There are a lot of books. Okay. For RM, there is Galotti and Kotri and Arthur and Jensen. All right, so there are a lot of books for OB. There is Freud and Lutherans, Armdot. So I mean, books are of like there are thousands of books, but the priority should be which book will help me, which book will help me in like most ways to complete my syllabus in a given time. All right, so these are all my personal book recommendations, in which I highly prefer these two books: AK Singh's AK Singh's Research Methodology and Sistrary. All right. Now coming to the some useful tips. All right. So this is very much important. Okay. First tip is don't compare your study hours with your friends. Okay. I've seen many people saying कि यार वो तो 8 घंटे पढ़ रहा है मैं 4 घंटे पढ़ रहा हूँ. How I will be able to crack this examination. So what I did, I'll share my story. I used to study only, I guess, 5 hours. Okay, and this 5 hours I'm telling, which was my complete hardcore preparation phase, which was before, like after Jamia exam, before 20 or 15 days before DUs and BHU, because DU and BHU exams were almost contemporary. I guess there was only 2 or 3 days gaps between these two examinations. So my hardcore preparation was only for 15 to 20 days. And what I did, I'll share later. Okay. So first, most useful tip, don't compare your study hours with your friends. Okay. Then study whenever you want. Okay. This might be a subjective thing, but what I prefer is I don't use a specific timetable to study. I do schedule my day that I have to complete these and these topics in a day within 24 hours, but I don't schedule my complete study hours. Okay, so this means that for the 1 hour I have to study this, for the next hour I have to complete abnormal. No, don't like if you are doing this thing since your childhood, then definitely go for it. No need to change your habit at the last moment. But if you are like me, then don't follow any timetable. Okay, study whenever you want. If you don't feel like if you don't feel like study, leave it. Because if you don't have any mood to study and you'll study, that will be a complete wastage of time. Okay, I'll suggest go and watch some movie, like finish your watch list. I'll suggest do those things. But if you are in mood, then study. If you are not, don't force yourselves to study. Okay, which is our third point. Don't force yourself to study when you are not in mood to study. Fourth, try to gain knowledge first, then go for MCQs. This is a really big mistake students commit, and I'll not say I haven't committed this mistake, but I'm very little amount. Okay, so the thing is, whenever the time comes for the preparation exam, they just start searching for the previous examinations, previous year question papers of BHU, DU, Jamia, and they start to solve those questions. And the thing is, whenever you'll solve any paper, you'll find there are so many questions which you haven't heard before. Okay, it feels like, yeah, this is the really very new topic. I haven't seen this anywhere. So don't try to solve MCQ at the very first moment or at the very start of your preparation. Go for the knowledge first. Okay, exam part is for scoring. All right, so scoring preparation is done before at least 1 month. But before the 1 month time, whatever time you have, just try to read out books, read out articles, read out theories, read out web pages articles. All right, this will develop your knowledge. And then, like this simply means you'll get to know the ABCDs of psychology. And then if questions come from M, you'll able to answer them. If a question comes from D, you'll be answered them. All right, so this is the thing. Try to go for knowledge first, then go for MCQs. Fourth is use chaining method. All right, I'm sure you people are aware of chaining and shaping from reinforcement psychology. Do you? Anyone? All right. Anyone wants to like explain? Anyone wants to tell what chaining method and shaping method is? I'm talking about reinforcement principles. Skinner. Anyone remember this?
I can try.
Yeah, sure.
I can talk about shaping method of psychology. So in that, there was an example in Cicerelli, I guess, where you give, for example, if you want to teach a dog to pick pick the bone. So basically, you have to give them reinforcements or rewards after like each step that they do. So in the first step, if they actually like get up from the place when the bone is thrown, that is when they're given food. For example, so when they get up from the place, that is the first step. Then if they go towards the bone, then they get more rewards. So in that way, you shape them into learning that behavior.
All right. So I'll make this simple. Basically, if you are at a zero level, all right, then shaping means on day one you'll go from zero to one. Then again on day two you'll go from zero to two. Then again on day three you'll go from zero to three. So you're seeing that always you're starting from zero and trying to move ahead at least a little bit what you have done in yesterday. Alright? But on the other hand, chaining is you'll go from zero to one, then other day you'll go from one to two, then other day you'll go from two to three. Okay, so this is difference between chaining and shaping. So basically I prefer to use chaining method while studying, and what I mean is on day one you sat down, okay, you opened your book, completed one chapter. Okay, fine. Next day try to complete the second chapter rather than going for again from zero level or again from the page one of that book. All right, so basically if you want to complete your syllabus, you should divide your syllabus, and you should plan to complete those parts according to the number of days you have left for the examination. All right, so it means in week one I have to complete my complete psychopathology part. In day two I have to complete my developmental psychology part. In day three I have to complete my hrm and ob section. All right, so try to use chaining method rather than completing all the syllabus at once and keep on initiating from the initial stage. All right. So go for chaining method. The last and the most important point is don't isolate yourself from fun life. Okay. I see many people, they sacrifice their sleep, they sacrifice their parties, events, web series, movies. All right. Don't do this. I've never done this to me, like ever. Okay, so keep enjoying your life. You are currently preparing for your examinations, but at the same time you are a living human being and you should enjoy your life. Okay, so if you feel like you want to watch some movie or web series, just go for it. All right, there is no bad thing to take off from the preparation, because preparation journey is really full of like hustles, ups and downs. All right, so don't need to isolate yourselves from the fun life. And this, at the last of the screen, this is this is my most favorite aphorism by Sigmund Freud. Like, one day in retrospect the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. What this means is basically you are currently in your hustle period. Basically you are currently in your low period, you are hustling, you are grinding, you are striving to become someone, you are striving to get into your dream college. And the moment you'll see your name in the admission list, that will be the moment when you remember this phase, that yeah, I used to wake up nights, I used to wake up early to do my preparation, I used to skip my breakfast, I used to skip my dinners, I used to skip my party events, and now currently I'm here in my dream university. All right, so one day in retrospect the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful part. Okay, so on this note my first section is over. All right, so I guess the forum is all yours. You can just ask your questions whatever you feel like, and I'll try my best to answer them. Okay, you can start, you can ask anything.
Hi Utkarsh, this is Shivangi.
Yeah, hi.
Actually, I recently got to know about an examination that's called CogJet, if you're aware.
Yeah, basically, CogJet is responsible for getting you into a behavioral science, especially in CBCS. All right. So, if I'm not wrong, there are currently two CBCS in India. One is in Allahabad University, and one I think is in IIT Gandhinagar, if I'm not wrong. So, basically, CogJet, if you are interested in cognition, but the thing is, don't get this cognition wrong. Okay, what they want in cognition is basically artificial intelligence, programming skills, e-prime skills. Okay, so don't think that you will be studying memory and attribution, attitude perception in the very primitive form like we used to do in our UG or PG part. So CogJet or doing research or PG from CBCS is basically you are surrounded by computer programs. All right. So if you have interest in computer programming languages, designing experiments, do research in more empirical form, research on neuroscience, neurology, brain neurons, etc. So definitely you can go for CogJet. All right.
Okay, okay. Also, I had another question. Does BHU allow students coming from non-psychology background to get admission in masters
Okay.
psychology?
Yeah, very good question. So basically, BHU has 7 seats reserved for non-psychology background. So 7 seats means there will be a lot of competition. All right, and also the pattern of examination will be completely changed for non-psychology students. As I said, psychology students will receive paper in which there will be 120 questions, which will be of from psychology. There will be no GS part. All right, but for non-psychology student, the complete paper will be of GS. All right, technically you will be given the paper of UG. Okay, you'll feel like you are giving a UG paper in which they'll be asking you geography, history, science, and like basic level maths, etc., etc. So these questions, these 120 questions for non-psychology background will come from GS. All right, but this is the
Okay.
case different for DU. DU gives like same paper to non-psychology and psychology background.
Okay. Also, if you have any list of the universities which take students coming from non-psychology backgrounds, would it be possible for you to share?
Yeah, I guess there are so many. There is one channel, if I'm not wrong, UPS Education something. Okay, so they have this one article you can search on Google. Indian universities provide PG psychology for non-psychology background. So the very first link will be of their site only. You can search. I guess BHU is there, DU is there, and if I'm not wrong, I guess Jamia is also there, and Ashok University, and like there are a lot of universities. So you can just go on that article.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
Sir,
so.
Ambedkar University also.
Yeah, yeah, Ambedkar also. And also, people who are interested in psychoanalysis and psychodynamic part, Ambedkar University's curriculum is very much dominated by those film. Okay, so if anyone is interested in psychodynamic approach or like psychoanalytic approach, they can try for Ambedkar University. It's a really good university.
So I had a doubt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Ananya, go first. Okay, Nana will come to you.
yes, sir. So अगर किसी का minor है psychology, so they will be psychology students, like non background psychology में तो नहीं आएंगे ना वो लोग?
The thing is that psychology subject will be present on your mark sheet, on your final mark sheet. It has to be there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
you can.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Um, a very good afternoon, sir. This is Ruth.
Yeah.
Sir, I had a doubt regarding like if someone wants to pursue in like something private, I would say कि अगर किसी एक सेक्टर में ही उसको जाना है basically, for example, if someone is interested in forensic psychology or criminal psychology, so there was some noise in my
Yeah, yeah.
background. Yeah. So, if someone is interested in forensic psychology or criminal psychology or any other like organizational psychology, so what is better? Like that person should pursue for this journal or applied psychology in masters, or this like criminal or for forensic psychology? What will be better for the future for the
Okay,
career?
so it's a really subjective thing to answer because if you like, as you've mentioned, you have interest in OB also, and you have also interest in forensic, basically criminal psychology. So there are various universities, But there is a really big misconception in students that they tend to prefer a specialization. Okay, so specialization is basically in the final semester, in the final year in your PG, your university will allow you to choose some specific subjects. All right, it could be counseling psychology, it could be sports psychology, it could be clinical psychology, criminal psychology, developmental psychology, current psychology. There are various fields. There are like various fields. But the thing is, some universities mention their specialization on their degree, but some don't. I guess DU mentions it, but BHU doesn't. Okay, so there is no such thing that if you have done your specialization or you have chosen your final special subject as OB, and then there's no such thing that you cannot go for MPhil examinations, which is basically dominated by clinical aspect. So this is a really big misconception that people are worrying about their like specialization. Okay, if I talk about my university, my current batch, the day one we made a WhatsApp group. Everyone was keep on discussing about that specialization which they will be getting next year. So there is no need to worry about specialization. Of course, you can do whatever you want in PG. You can choose whatever you want. Then after PG, you'll have enough idea what are the various fields in psychology, in which field you have the most interest. Then according to you, you can choose whether you have to go for OBHRM or you can go for criminal psychology. NFSU is the very best university, but the thing is, this year only they've raised or they've hiked their fee structure like up to 75%. So there is a lot of raise in their fee structure. So technically NFSU is now much costlier than it was in earlier terms. So it depends upon you what you want to pursue. Definitely there is a very bright goal or very bright pathway, both regarding observational organizational psychology and criminal psychology. So there is not no such comparison between which is better, criminal or OB. All right.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay, yeah, Nana, you were saying something. Sorry.
Yes. Hello. My question is that I'm from non-psychology background, and I have started preparation in February, so it's been a month. And I have completed the two 11th and 12th standard NCRTs, and currently I'm on conductor of Specialization. So I think this part would be taken care of social psychology and general psychology. But I am struggling with AT things. I'm trying to study, but I am not able to understand it. So do you have any online resources that I can follow for research methodology and
Okay. So for research part, I'll suggest you can download any university syllabus. Okay. Now this is a very important point. People are worrying about which university syllabus I should go for. All right. They're asking for the. Technically, they want me to answer what is the UG like PG level entrance syllabus for psychology. So there is no such thing as PG entrance syllabus. Technically, the UG syllabus of that university is dominated or has been preferred for that university's entrance examination. Okay, so the best way is to go with your own UG syllabus. All right, all universities UG syllabus are more or less similar. So there is no such thing कि बहुत ज़्यादा different होता है. But if you are really a hardcore aspirant for DU or BHU, then you can definitely refer BHU's UG syllabus or DU's UG syllabus. Talking about research part, what I did is basically I preferred online articles very much. Okay, so what I used to do is, for example, if I had doubt something in reliability related to reliability, then I'll just Google this thing and go through that topic with two or three articles, and by doing this I can just clear out my doubts, and at the same time I can know more about that topic. So this is the thing, because surfing in the book takes a really lot of time, and to get up from your chair, go to your shelf, take out that book, then find where this topic is, there's a really big thing. Okay, so I'll always say, yeah, I always used to say this key, in examination part, don't go for hard work. Okay, go for smart work, because there will be some students who are doing currently hard work, and there will be some students who are doing smart work. Okay, both are doing equally good in their own way, but you've seen that only some students will get admission and some will not. Okay, might you will get the admission, but there might be a case your friend will not, but you'll think that कि हमने preparation तो एक जैसी की थी. So what was the changing point? So this was the changing point. Either you did a smart work or she did a like hard work. So there's a difference. So talking about research methodology, resource materials, you can just Google it down. Whatever you want to study, there are thousands of articles related to that psychology available both in Hindi and English part. Okay. So this is the best thing I can suggest, and this is the thing I did.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and talking about like PPT, someone's message, I'll like share the PPT, or I'll just like this whole session will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. I'll share the link, so don't worry about the PPT. All right, or I'll just flash it down in the end of the session. You can just take screenshots. That's fine.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Varuni this side. Sir, I just want to ask this question as to how to handle the interviews of all these colleges. Like what should I expect from the interview section?
Okay, that's a very good question. And I guess recently Christ University has taken some interviews. So basically, there are very few universities who take interview or who consider interview as their selection part. Some of the universities are Amity, Christ. I guess Ferguson College also takes like interview. So yeah, okay. The basic thing they want to know from your side in interviews basically how deep you like how deep your knowledge is in psychology. Okay, they'll not ask you the definition of reliability or validity. I mean, they will ask, but the thing is, their motto is, did you actually learn the meaning of the reliability, or you just like memorize the definition of reliability? Okay, so if I say that what's the definition of hypothesis, so there is a universal hypothesis, like there is a universal definition. The tentative answer to a problem is known as hypothesis. Okay, I guess 99.9% students will answer this question if someone asks them what is the definition of hypothesis. But this is not the case. Interviewer wants to know what actually hypothesis meant by your side. Okay, what is the meaning of hypothesis in your perspective? Okay, they can ask you why we prefer null hypothesis other than alternative hypothesis, why we always bother about null hypothesis, why we write this that p value is less than 0.05, hence null hypothesis has been rejected and our alternative hypothesis has been accepted. We can just write our alternative hypothesis and has been accepted. Okay, so why we write this null hypothesis part? What's the important null hypothesis even in the condition that it doesn't actually exist? Okay, our main like motto part is from alternative hypothesis. That's the result what we want. There's no wanting from the null hypothesis. So these are all the questions which interviewer asks. Basically, they want to know how deep you know this subject, how connected you feel to this subject. Okay, the very first question in Ambedkar University they ask that why you choose psychology. Okay, so this is the very subjective answer you can prepare answer for this question, because they will ask you, there's a high chance that they will ask you why you choose psychology and specifically why you choose Ambedkar University. Okay, recently this year some of my batchmates gave interview in Ambedkar. So like the majority of these two questions were being asked in the interview: why you choose psychology, and what's the reason and why like you're applying to this university specifically. So these are the two most dominated questions. Other than this, they will ask you about some theories, like tell about attribution theory, tell about Eric Erickson's theory, or tell about the contribution of women in the field of psychology if you're a girl. So these types of questions they'll ask. All right.
Okay, sir. Thank you for answering this
Yeah,
question.
yeah, no issues.
No interview for DU.
Yeah, there is no interview for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I have two questions, so I'll just ask them continuously. So the first thing is that when we are talking to people with who are doing psychology masters or from this field, we are getting different things from everybody. Like somebody will tell us ki find colleges which have better placements because it's hard to find it outside. Some will tell us to focus on the course material, मतलब जो भी syllabus है. Some will tell us how esteemed the university is, how great it is. Look at that. So what factors should we weigh more while we are choosing which university to go to? Because I saw that you have you cleared so many universities, but you chose BHU. So what were the factors that you thought and you chose BHU? And the other thing is, if you've heard about Chandigarh University and Punjab University and their course and how different they are from DU and which one is better, if you have any idea on that.
Okay. So the first question is which university to prefer, like whether we should go for their NIF ranking, whether we should go for their faculty, whether we should go for their syllabus, how to choose a university. All right. So I just want to answer this question with a like meme of Ashni Grover. ये सब दोगलापन है, ठीक है? ओके, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? देखो, in your UG and PG, the key to study or key to score marks or key to get success in your college life is self study. Okay, so there is no such thing ki this university has a very good faculty or this university don't have a very good faculty. So you can just keep aside this faculty factor. All right, talking about syllabus, more or less every university's syllabus is similar in PG as it was in UG. All right, talking about my Pondicherry University syllabus. All right. So there they give the course MSc Applied Psychology. Okay, sounds really cool. I'm doing MSc Applied Psychology. All right. I've been there for 1 month. Okay. So thing is, their syllabus is completely similar to what I'm studying or what I'm doing currently in BHU in the name of MA Psychology. ओके, सो कीपिंग असाइड दिस फैक्टर ऑल्सो कि इस यूनिवर्सिटी का सिलेबस बहुत अच्छा है, सो आई शुड गो फॉर दिस यूनिवर्सिटी. ओके, द मेन थिंग विच कम्स हियर, इफ यू रियली वांट टू do research in psychology and specifically you want to do your research in this university from this university, then you can might opt for a good university from your for your PG level. Also talking about there, like you've heard the term halo effect. Okay, so basically in interview situation this thing really dominates. So basically if one student is from JNU, one student is from Allahabad University, and one student is from BHU, so automatically our brain prefers the student which is from JNU because we know that yeah, JNU is the number one university in India. All right. Or if I'll say if I'm from BHU and other students is from like Rajasthan University or some other state universities, so technically your brain will prefer that student which was from BHU. So what like the reason why I chose BHU is because of course it's campus life. Okay, the reason why I don't like why the reason why I didn't chose DU, it's because DU as a college is good but it don't have a proper campus life. Okay, and what I mean campus life basically a boundary life. Okay, you must be knowing that DU is divided into several colleges. All right, so there is no proper campus life in my opinion that DU has. Okay, other than the keeping aside the DU thing, Delhi as a city is very polluted. Okay, so due to some of my health reasons, I didn't prefer DU. So my basically two best universities were Pondicherry University and BHU. Pondicherry University because of its location, because in southern culture, if you get out from your culture, your personality development will be at your peak. Okay, so that was the reason why I was preferring Pondicherry University. And other than BHU, of course, its NIF ranking is third, and for like JNU and other one IISc Bangalore, they are on 1 and 2, so they don't give psychology. Okay, so technically in India, the number one university is currently BHU as per its ranking. So that's the reason why I choose ranking, because my future aims are little bit tilted towards the research from abroad. So they considered the college. Okay, they considered the like uniqueness of your college or the prestige level of your college, how prestigious your college was from your PG, because it shows how dedicated you were towards the subject and how sincere you were towards your subject, because these universities has high cutoff, and if you are able to secure your seat in these colleges, it means you were really good in studies and you were really serious for this subject. Okay, so this is the reason why I chose BHU, of course, because of its campus life. It has a very beautiful campus, and of course its brand value. So technically what I'll suggest, if you are getting a choice between a private university and a central university, then always go for central university because it will give you the societal prestige. And the other thing is it is very efficient. Like my BHU like complete 1 year fees is 3,000 just. Okay, and talking about private universities, there are very much like there are so many advantages of private university. I mean, if you're if you know many of the current active students or researchers in the field of psychology, they've done at least their PG or UG from Amity University. Okay, I'm taking talking about Amity specifically because in private university the number of university is Amity. So basically, Amity University charges you a very high amount, but at the same time, it gives you that level, that standard of education. Okay, so if you want a proper exposure, a really good academic and professional life, you can choose Amity or you can choose any private university. All right, but if you feel like that you are self capable of doing your things by your own, if you are capable of doing self study, if you want to do your independent research work, or independent side by side activities in your college life, then always go for central universities, because they'll not handle you as a robot. Okay, of course, if you choose du you will be getting a lot of workload. Okay, I'm seeing my friends. But bhu, Allahabad University, and other South Indian universities, they don't give really so much work, like they don't put so much work on the shoulders of student. So this is the thing. So my two main keys were: go for brand value and go for what you are expecting from your college life. Okay, don't expect anything from your college. Your college will give nothing to you. Okay, but your college life will. So always calculate your acceptance rate and rejection rate on the basis of these two factors: the brand value you will be getting from your college, and the other thing is what you expect from your college life and not from college. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anyone else has any question, any kind of question?
I wanted to ask how it Xavier's Mumbai and Ferguson Mumbai.
Very good college, but the thing is they have really high acceptance, like really low acceptance rate. I guess there are only two seats for non Maharashtrian students. I mean, for general category there are only general seats are two, and OBC seats are three, and I guess SC seats are two. So technically there are only 10 seats reserved for non Maharashtrian students. So it's a very good university, but the selection rate is very tough. So yeah, that's the thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any kind of questions? कुछ भी, मतलब कितना भी आपको लग रहा हो silly doubt हो, because it might be silly for you, but it like might be a really big thing for anyone else. So you can ask.
I have one silly doubt.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's like I was just wondering how helpful would the Ambedkar University course would be for someone who is planning to or is interested in pursuing MPhil and clinical psychology. How
Okay,
helpful would Ambedkar University's course
the end goal is to practice psychology.
be? Yes.
Yeah, actually, to practice psychology, PG college doesn't play an important role, because here's the thing: your academic life is divided into two phases. Okay, the first phase is your UG and PG, which combines a total of 5 years. So technically, in these 5 years, you will take everything from that subject. Okay, but the moment you enter in the field of practice or research, which is cost around your 5 years, this is the time subjects demand something from you. Okay, society will expect that this is the time you will contribute something to subject. So there are two phases. So technically speaking or logically speaking, your PG college doesn't actually matter a lot if you want to pursue or practice in India. Okay, but definitely if you are planning to go for research or practice in abroad, especially research in abroad, then definitely go for the brand value of the college. Okay, because they consider the QS ranking, and if you are doing your PG from any university in the world which comes under 500 QS ranking, then it is considered to be a very good university. Okay, so if you want to practice in India, there is no such thing कि ये कॉलेज अच्छा है, ये कॉलेज बेकार है. ओके, एट द एंड आप कितने भी अच्छे कॉलेज से पढ़ लो, आपको एमफिल का एग्जाम क्रैक करना पड़ेगा. Then only you will be able to do your practice, or you have to do crack any research entrance exam of any specific university, or you have to crack your UGC net exam. सो देर इज नो सच थिंग कि आपको बहुत ही अच्छे कॉलेज से जाना है, अनटिल अनलेस आपका एम उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि कॉलेज की ब्रांड वैल्यू कितनी होनी चाहिए. ओके, सो दिस द थिंग.
I also have a silly doubt. Could you
I
please
just have
tell us?
one
Sorry.
training doubt.
या
Can I ask?
या no, no, go
Uh,
first.
yes, I want to ask कि अगर हम फॉरेन में रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं तो फिर उसके लिए I was thinking that they have their own exams or like how is it? How is
Okay,
it?
so the thing with doing research or pursuing research from abroad is very much different, completely different from any perspective. In India, you just have to crack a UGC net exam, then you'll have to face an interview, and then boom, you'll selected for an interview. Okay, this is the case of India. But if you want to pursue, because I'll be not able to answer this question very much because I'm still in the process. So if you want to continue do your research from abroad, the thing is they are accepting you and they'll be giving you a stipend. Basically, they will be spending money on you for the complete 5 years. So they will be expecting that you'll contribute something, or you'll contribute in some ways to their ongoing current projects or their people, technically society. Okay, so thing is, you should make them feel that you are really worth going there, or you are really worth contacting them. Okay, so the process is simple. You have to basically shortlist your universities, in which universities you want to do research, availability of your like research interest, that this university is focused on cognition research, this university is focused on developmental research, and this all process will start 1 year ahead. Okay, 1.5 years ahead. So if you're in final year, so technically you are late to do your masters or research. So because if you want to like I'll be completing my PG in 2023. So technically, I'll have to start in 2023 onwards. So if I want to apply in 2023, I need to start from today only. Okay, from July, because the intake window opens 1 year before in September, because the like for example 2023 intake will begin from this September 2022. Okay, so the thing is, you should be aware of all those universities, and the first thing is you should start mailing your professors, looking at the faculty of like you will be doing your research under one supervisor. So the thing is, your interest and your supervisor's interest should match. Okay, ऐसा नहीं हो कि आपको cognition में research करना है and your supervisor doing research in developmental, because he'll be not able to guide you in like complete sense. So you should make this thing clear कि आपको जिस भी supervisor के अंडर में अपनी research करनी है, they have to be free. Okay, they should be accepting students for the PhD purpose, and you should mail them कि sir, this and this I want like I like your this work, I want to do this research on this topic under you. Then they'll mail back you if they are interested in your research. And if the reply is affirmative, or it means that the reply is positive, then you can go on to apply that university. Okay, so by doing this thing, your money will be saved. आपने अप्लाई कर दिया यूनिवर्सिटी में, वहां पे आपकी फैकल्टी को आपका रिसर्च इंटरेस्ट नहीं पसंद आया, so they'll not refund your application fee. And application fee is for like majority of universities around $120 to $200. So technically it means something 7 to 8 thousand rupees. Okay, so this thing, other than this thing, you should have your IELTS score, which is your English language proficiency speaking test. You can take TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, etc. So these all will come under a language proficiency test. So these are all just broad idea of how to pursue research in abroad. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, Arti, you can continue.
Yes, sir. I was just going to ask, how are you supposed to look at the brand value of a college? Like, how do you decide? You look at the QS rankings, is that right?
Yeah, QS ranking, NIF ranking, of course in India, NRF ranking, and like a broad layman perspective of society. Like, of course, anyone, if you are asking a if you're asking a like a random stranger which college is best, DU University or any XYZ state university, definitely he'll say DU University. Okay, so this is the thing. You should like there is no specific hardcore criteria of deciding a brand value. It's totally subjective thing. But if you want to go empirically, you can go for NAF ranking. All right, but this doesn't mean that if a university has its NIF ranking too, this doesn't mean that the department will be very good. Okay, talking about the case of Allahabad University. Allahabad University's NIF ranking is like I guess above 250 something. But the thing is, its department of psychology is the best department I've ever seen in complete India. Because during the preparation phase, I came to meet students from different universities, different parts of India. Okay, and I've done my UG from Allahabad University also. So I definitely suggest कि आप AU को भी consider करो. Don't go for its ranking. That department is really like the most perfect thing which exists in society, like India related psychology. It's that department only. वहाँ की faculty बहुत अच्छी है. Okay, and then amount of practical knowledge you'll get from that department, there is no fight against it. Okay, so this is the thing how you can decide a brand value for the any university.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, anyone else?
Yeah.
I just wanted to know if you have any idea about the colleges that are affiliated to Mumbai University that are like good.
I'm so sorry, I don't have any idea regarding this.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hi, sir.
yeah, hi.
Actually, my question is really stupid because आपने session की starting में ही clear कर दिया था. But the thing is, I have this doubt since the beginning of my bachelor's. I'm pursuing BSc, right, from a private university, but I want to pursue MA. And I know the syllabus is not different and stuff, but will that cause any problem in future if I have like done BSc and then I'm doing an MA?
All right. Is there any specific reason why you want to pursue MA?
Oh no, no, there's no specific reason. I'm actually going for PSU too, and I was applying for DU. And in DU, as we all know, there is no MSc under degree, and there is MA. So I was actually planning on going for DU.
Yeah, and
So that's it.
if you'll go into DU, you'll get a degree of MA in psychology in North Campus and MA Applied Psychology in South Campus. So this thing. But in BHU, if you are taking admission, you'll be given the degree based on your UG degree. Alright. So in BHU, you'll get technically MSc degree, and in DU, you will get MA degree. Alright. So there is no asset difference in MA and MSc, but talking about the stereotypes and in layman terms and society terms, MSc is preferred more than MA. All right, this is, I'm talking about the societal norms, but there is no such difference between MA and MSc. Okay,
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
yeah. Anyone else, or shall we wrap up? किसी कोई भी डाउट है? थोड़ा सा छोटा सा.
So, is there some Telegram or WhatsApp group that is formed for the students who are collectively preparing?
Yeah, there are so many groups. There is one group, Indian psychology, something like this. There's one group, MAMSC psychology preparation entrance group. You can just search on Telegram psychology preparation groups. You'll find many groups. There is one psychology discussion forum, then psychology 95. There are so many groups. So you can just search on Telegram by using the
Okay.
keyword psychology preparation or psychology entrance, something like this.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. Thank
Abhishek, for 2022 like अभी उसका एग्जाम हुआ नहीं है, and for 2021 I don't think so अभी उनका पेपर अपलोड हुआ है because it was on CBT mode. So basically अगर आपको कोई जान पहचान के जिसने दिया था ये पेपर, because मेरा पेपर मैं सेव करना भूल गया था, I was so stupid. So अगर आपकी कोई जान पहचान ने किसी को दिया है या आपको कोई भी आप ग्रुप ज्वाइन करोगे टेलीग्राम पे, so you can find that paper there. Okay, so अभी वो साइट पे अपलोड नहीं हुआ है because it was in CBT mode. So there's the thing.
हाय।
Yeah, hi.
जो बीएचयू का एंट्रेंस होता है, ये सीबीटी मोड में होता है या फिर ऑफलाइन में कॉलेज में इसका यूनिवर्सिटी में होता है?
BHU और DU का CBT मोड ही होता है. इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी का आपके पास चॉइस होता है कि आप पेन पेपर दो या फिर आप CBT दो. जामिया का पेन पेपर होता है.
ओके, थैंक यू।
एंड आई सजेस्ट कि आप CBT पे जाओ. ओके, पेन पेपर पे बहुत रिस्क रहता है कि आपके पास एक क्वेश्चन मार्क आपने मार्क कर दिया तो फिर वो चेंज नहीं हो सकता है. सो ऑलवेज गो फॉर CBT. डरने की बात नहीं है, CBT बहुत ईजी होता है. यू विल फाइंड वेरियस यूट्यूब ट्यूटोरियल्स
ये
ऑन दिस.
क्वेश्चन से डिफरेंस नहीं होता सीबीटी में?
नहीं नहीं, सब सेम
कुछ
होता है.
कुछ
सब सेम
इक्वल
होता
होता
है.
है?
सब सेम होता है, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं होता है. और CBT का एडवांटेज ये रहता है कि आपने कोई क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर लिया है तो आप वापस आके उसको वापस से चेंज भी कर सकते हो. ये चीज़ आप ऑफलाइन में नहीं कर सकते हो OMR
जी।
शीट में. सो ऑलवेज ट्राई टू गो फॉर CBT मोड. ओके, एनीवन एल्स?
हेलो।
या रूज.
एक्चुअली ना मेरा डाउट जो था, आई थिंक इट वाजंट क्लियर लास्ट टाइम, सो आई
ओके.
विल जस्ट ब्रिंग इट बैक अगेन. मेरा जो क्वेश्चन था बेसिकली वो ये था कि लाइक आई एम जस्ट अबाउट टू कंप्लीट माय अंडर ग्रेजुएशन in psychology, and now if I want to go for the specific field in psychology, so should I go for the specific course, or should I go for the general, like MA in psychology or MSc in psychology? So what will be more better for my future or my career? लाइक अगर मैं MA या फिर MSc करता हूँ, या फिर मैं लाइक फॉरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी में डायरेक्टली एडमिशन ले लेता हूँ और उसको मैं 2 साल पढ़ता हूँ, एंड देन आई गो फॉर माई रिसर्च और वट एवर, लाइक इन PSUs और एनी अदर, लाइक फॉर द जॉब और समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो क्या ज़्यादा बेटर है? दोनों में से. That was my question. Thank you.
Okay, so technically PG acts like a bridge between your UG and your research or your practice journey. Okay, so if you are doing your UG from as a
Excuse
PA,
me.
yeah.
Also, one more thing. अच्छा, जैसे like if I and also like अगर मैं ये दो चीजें करता हूँ तो इससे मेरे क्या like difference आएगा if I want to pursue for like research or PhD like for net JRF, तो वहाँ पर क्या मतलब इफेक्ट पड़ेगा इस चीज से कि अगर मैं एक चीज को परस्यू करता हूँ या फिर दूसरी चीज को. एंड द अदर थिंग इज कि लाइक कल को अगर मैं फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई वांट टू गो इन द प्रोफेसर लाइन, तो वहां पर क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा कि लाइक इफ आई हैव जस्ट डन फ्रॉम स्पेसिफिक फील्ड, अगर मैंने क्रिमिनल साइकोलॉजी या फिर क्रिमिनोलॉजी या फिर फॉरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी से किया है, तो प्रोफेसर लाइन में क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा, या और अगर मैंने एमए यहाँ से की है लाइक जनरल साइकोलॉजी से किया है, तो क्या इफेक्ट पड़ेगा. सो दिस इज ऑल माय क्वेश्चन, सो इट विल बी
Okay,
रियली हेल्पफुल.
yeah. So I'll answer one by one. Okay. So question one, question like first question was कि किससे हमें अपना कौन सी फील्ड से whether we should go for a specific field or we should go for a like broader field of MSc applied psychology or MA psychology. So the answer of this question is majority of good universities or majority of central universities don't offer any specific PG courses in their curriculum. So it's wise to go for a broad based psychology because you will get to know about different domains of psychology and maybe afterwards you'll develop a new interest because आपको अभी लगता है कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट तो मेमोरी में है, मे बी आपने मेमोरी से अच्छा कुछ पढ़ा नहीं अभी तक. So by good, like doing your PG from a broader perspective, you'll be able to cover or you'll be able to see some different aspects of psychology, and maybe you'll change your decision of doing research in this specific area. Talking about professor or teaching line, okay, every professor has its own important like core subject. Okay, so if I'll be professor one day, my important like my core field will be psychoanalysis, like psychoanalytic approach or research methodology. These will be my two broad main streams. Okay, so the problem is if you'll do your PG in criminal psychology, then you'll apply, and then you'll suppose you have done your PG in criminal psychology from NFSU from forensic science, then you have cracked your UGC net examination, then you are sitting right now in the interview. So the interview panel will ask you why you are why you want to do research in memory if you have done your forensic, if you have done your PG in forensic science or criminal psychology. So this is the question you have to answer at that moment. So this is the thing why people prefer to do PG in a broader perspective so that they can choose any specific field at the end of the day, whatever they feel like. I want to do research in OB, I want to do research in developmental psychology, I want to do research in cognitive. But the thing is, if I've done my PG in counseling psychology, and even if I want to pursue my research in clinical psychology, you can, no, for sure. But you have to answer this question that why you're jumping from your domain in which you have done your PG and why you're jumping from your domain to this new domain. Okay, so this question you have to answer. This you have to face this question. टॉकिंग अबाउट अपॉर्चुनिटीज, देर इज नो सच थिंग कि आपको काउंसलिंग में बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल जाएंगी या फिर आपको क्लिनिकल में बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल जाएंगी. टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोफेसर लाइन, हर प्रोफेसर का एक डोमेन होता है कि वो इस सब्जेक्ट को पढ़ाएगा. सो डजेंट मैटर आपने किस सब्जेक्ट से अपना पीजी किया है, किस टॉपिक पे आपने रिसर्च करी है. आई मीन इट डज एड्स एन एडवांटेज बट इट्स नॉट द ओनली थिंग कि आपको अगर आपने कॉग्निटिव से अपने रिसर्च कर रखा है सो यू विल ओनली टीच कॉग्निटिव साइकोलॉजी. ओके, सो दिस द फैक्टर प्रोफेसर का काम होता है कि वो कंप्लीट अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ क्लास में आए बिकॉज स्टूडेंट कैन लाइक आस्क क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम एनी डोमेन. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आपसे कॉग्निटिव क्वेश्चंस करेंगे बिकॉज यू हैव डन योर पीएचडी इन कॉग्निटिव. Also, talking about research field, there is no such thing as a complete researcher. Okay, because research is sometimes funded by government, but majority of times it is being done by your own money. So technically, you have to secure a stable job position, which is in terms of professor or working in any organization, working in any institute, or working in any ministry under government of India. So you need to preserve your secure job, then side by side you can follow your passion of research. So this is the like complete wholesome answer for your questions. All right, Truth.
Okay, that was really insightful. Thank you.
There is some text. Let me see. Okay, there is a lot Top difficulty to find the previous year questions of DU, BHU, and UGCNet. So could you please help me out with this? All right. So आई डोंट थिंक सो कैसी डिफिकल्टी आपको फील होगी देखो बीएचयू के जितने भी प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस होंगे आपको बीएचयू की साइट पे अवेलेबल हो जाएंगे ओके यू जस्ट हैव टू टाइप गूगल you just have to type this thing in Google BHU previous year questions psychology सिंपल इतना आपको डायरेक्टली उसी साइट पे वो रीडायरेक्ट कर देगा वहाँ पे 2014 से लेके 2019 तक के सारे क्वेश्चंस आपको सब्जेक्ट वाइज अवेलेबल रहेंगे ओके यू कैन डाउनलोड इट फ्रॉम देयर यूजीसी नेट के प्रीवियस ईयर बहुत सारी वेबसाइट्स हैं जिन्होंने अपने खुद के बुकलेट्स बना रखी हैं ओके सो आप किसी पे भी रैंडमली आप गूगल पे कर सकते हो यूजीसी प्रीवियस ईयर नेट क्वेश्चंस पीडीएफ डाउनलोड इस तरह का करके आप कुछ भी गूगल पे कर दोगे आई एम श्योर आपको 2 से 3 साइट्स में वो एक पीडीएफ फॉर्म में आपको मिल जाएंगे प्रीवियस ईयर कुछ कुछ में आपको सॉल्व भी मिल जाते हैं ओके मेरे पास एक बुक है मैं शेयर कर दूंगा लिंक्डइन हैंडल पे अपने तो आप लोग उस बुक को देख लेना प्लीज ऑलराइट सो ये चीज़ है और ड्यू के भी क्वेश्चंस आपको रैंडम वेबसाइट्स पे मिल जाएंगे और आपकी उसकी खुद की यूनिवर्सिटीज पे तो रहते हैं हर यूनिवर्सिटी के जो क्वेश्चन पेपर्स होते हैं वो उसी की यूनिवर्सिटीज पे अवेलेबल होते हैं और आपको कुछ जो स्पेसिफिक ईयर्स के नहीं होते हैं यू कैन फाइंड देम इन रैंडम वेबसाइट्स ऑलराइट सो किसी को और कोई डाउट है और शैल वी रैप अप दिस सेशन ऑल्सो वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग
मेरा एक डाउट है
या या
मेरा डाउट है डीयू के क्वेश्चन को लेकर के तो आई हैव ओनली सीन वन पेपर सो फार और वो 2018 का था एंड आई ट्राइड टू डाउनलोड दैट फ्रॉम मल्टीपल प्लेसेस लेकिन वो जो भी मिल रहा है उसमें बहुत सारे गलत आंसर्स हैं और लाइक आई थिंक 4 or 5 क्वेश्चन हैड रॉन्ग आंसर सो आई एम नॉट श्योर लाइक व्हाट डू अबाउट इट
Okay, I'll suggest ki there are some of my batchmates who have curated a mini psychology preparation guide. So you can find question papers there. You can do just one thing. If you are on LinkedIn, you can just search for a person named Deepali Agarwal. Okay, she's my batchmate and she
Yes,
has
I have that guide. I have it. I have it.
yeah.
So just in
So
this case, I downloaded that, the DU wala 18 ka paper, but that also has those mistakes. जो बाकी के mistakes हैं.
oh, okay. So one thing you can do, I mean, I have due papers applied and MA part. So I can do one thing. I can just share the drive link of those papers on my LinkedIn very soon. So you can just download from there. Okay, I'll do this thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was telling one thing. Okay. The most important thing before 1 month or 20 days from your examinations, just keep aside your all books. Okay. And at that moment of time, you just have to focus on solving MCQs. Okay. Try to solve as many as MCQs as possible. Okay. Like from wherever you can get MCQs from any universities. I remember I've solved MCQs from Hyderabad universities, Aligarh Muslim universities, some TU तीर्थंकरा यूनिवर्सिटी समथिंग करके था वो मैंने उसके पेपर सॉल्व किए सो ट्राई टू सॉल्व as many questions as possible. Try to solve topic wise question. Just type in Google cognitive psychology MCQs and just go through all the websites. They have their questions with answers also. Try to solve them. So basically, when you solve the MCQs, you will get to know what type of questions are being asked in the examinations. Okay, so the first thing is go for the knowledge, read out books, complete your syllabus, then keep aside all those things and just focus on solving MCQs. Okay, this is the thing. Like this was the most important thing I want to share. So I think it was a really insightful session. Can we wrap up now? किसी को कोई doubt है? Okay, I guess we're good to go. So thank you so much for joining, and I really wish you the very best. And I wish that one day you'll be sitting in my position and guiding your juniors and students. All right. So very best of luck for your examinations, and just don't take any kind of pressure. Just do your best and enjoy your life. Go for MCQs more than knowledge, but first of all, go for knowledge. Okay, give more advantage or give more focus towards MCQs part rather than completing books. But for the very first time, complete your books at least for the one time. Okay, and if the exam will be in CUSET mode, focus more on 75 questions rather than throwing your attention and taking stress about those 25 questions. Okay, अगर आप zero level पे भी हो then also you'll be able to do at least 18 questions 100% correctly. Okay, so don't bother about those 25 questions. So these were all my short and thumb rule tips. So I hope this session was very much helpful, helpful to you. अगर आपको कोई भी ऐसा doubt है, so you can just text me on LinkedIn, or you can just mail me. I'm sure आपके पास मेरा mail होगा. So you can just mail me. I'll try my best to like remove that doubt. Okay. So good luck, and by this note, I shall take your leave. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah. Okay. PPT. Yeah. Just wait. Just a second. I'll share my screen. You can just take the SS. All right. Just a second. Uh, okay. I need to upload. I mean, there are only 5 slides. You can just take the SS. It will be much better. Just wait a second. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. You can take the SS. Okay. Just tell me when you're done. Okay. Now, next slide. All right. So, very best of luck to you. And now we can just you can just all leave. Okay. Thank you for joining.